Last minute. I appreciate it.
Sure, of course.
All right,
Recording
so
in
we're gonna
progress.
get this started, so I don't take up too much of your time, and also I have a
Okay.
deadline. So,
Oh, no, no
starting
problem.
off, starting off with your name, how to spell it,
Sure.
and where you live or your title.
Absolutely. My name is Alan Carvalho, A-L-A-N. Carvalho is spelled C-A-R-V-A-L-H-O. I'm a Latino man.
Perfect. So, starting off with just your involvement with basically the politics that happens here in Coachella.
My friend Linny O'Neill, who unfortunately passed away last December, was a strong social advocate and warrior, and we work together. We have a team of folks that are really excited about researching all that's going on in politics, especially the East Valley. So I took it upon myself to speak on behalf of the group, and I'm retired. And even though I have been involved in politics in Cathedral City, my husband was a council member back in 2014 to 2018. I was very, very involved with politics. But I'm no longer involved directly with politics, so I can speak a lot freer than many. I'm retired. I have a lot more time than most people do. I know that the residents in Cathedral City, working class folks, as well as in Coachella, these folks may not know the details of what's going on, and they don't feel comfortable speaking. They're concerned about ICE. They're concerned about not knowing enough, and they're also concerned about offending the leaders in these communities. So I feel very comfortable speaking and articulating on behalf of those folks. I grew up in much the same way as they did, struggling as a kid, working class family. So I made a promise to myself that when I get older, when I was able to speak freely, I would always do that. It's the way my mom raised me.
Now, talking about the latest developments with this city council meeting that happened yesterday, mayor wasn't here again. They've had to postpone some actions that were in the agenda, including the nomination of a new mayor pro tem and some other subcommittee nominations, things that do impact the residents, the city, how the city works. So what is your reaction to that, and how do you see the city really handling I guess this empty seat?
Sure. Well, I have to say that my friend Steven Nelson came in to speak when I last spoke at Coachella council meeting, and he spoke after me, and he brought up something really important: censuring the mayor. And as much as I adore city council members that really work hard and don't get paid enough, and I know all of those members of council, it's an opportunity to step up. And I have to say that I'm a little disappointed in council, because they should not have been suggested by a public comment about how to move this forward. They have each been hurt by the mayor. They have been personally attacked by the mayor. It's really unfortunate. And I'm not looking for revenge. I don't think we want to speak out of hand, but we have enough material to say this doesn't serve the public. The distractions don't serve the public. Not attending, you're paid as a public servant to be there to serve the public. For whatever reason, you don't show up out of fear, out of just the inability to address a situation that should always be in the back of your mind. You knew what you did. You know you've been accused. It wasn't brand new yesterday. So how should you prepare responding to the public? There was even one meeting, the meeting I came was last, and it was stated, the council said they were not going to address the issue with the mayor. The council doesn't have the right to decide who addresses the council and the mayor. We do as the public. So I was offended by that, but I also understand they're under a lot of pressure. It's all being thrown on their shoulders, and they weren't maybe very knowledgeable about what was about to happen. But this has been happening for decades, and the fact that the grand jury has stepped in, and even one of the members of city council, Denise Delgado, was involved in it, so she would have to recuse herself on anything having to do with the mayor. This is a very serious charge. When the grand jury gets involved, this is serious. So now we need to figure out how to run the government moving it forward. Matter of fact, the rest of them have to step up. Cathedral City, we just lost council member Mark Carvalho. That just happened recently. So they're stepping up and saying, we have 4 of us now. We have things to do. We have to serve the public. So they must find a way. Very intelligent people up there on that council. We have a doctor up there. We've got 3 phenomenal women that are real leaders in the community. They really need to muster up excitement in the city and to get folks to know we're working together with the people. We're not here to frighten people. Let's defend and help each other survive this situation that is going to be moving forward. I know they can't speak freely about this, but I think it's time for the mayor to resign. He's not, first of all, he's innocent until proven guilty, but in the best interest of the city, you know that you're not in a position to be respected under these circumstances. You're frightened about coming to the council, and you're sneaking around, which makes you even guiltier. And when the council doesn't address the issue, the elephant in the room, they look like they're in cahoots. I know they're not, but the public image is not helped by that. So I'm glad that they're moving it forward about the censure, which is important to do. But I really do think that they need to spend more time reassuring the public that there are still 4 members of council, and those 4 are more than qualified to move the city forward without a mayor. There's a mayor pro tem, and when and if that happens, that mayor pro tem is prepared to step in. The frightening thing about what's happened is they're not even hiding these criminal activities because nobody's paying attention. There were nobody like Linny O'Neill or myself or Megan Beeman or any of the people that are part of the team to say, what's going on here? They tried to get the COD to change campuses. The voters voted to have that campus in Palm Springs, not to have it hijacked, to move to where Steven Hernandez's land is located conveniently downtown. Buying a piece of property worth so little, spending over $400,000, hoping that was going to be increased in value, because what if the campus moves here? That would be fantastic. So he was counting his chickens before they hatch. And it's unfortunate because the city always hurts. The city always hurts. The money for the homeless, you don't take money away from homeless. You don't take money away from children. You don't take money away from seniors. You don't take money away from anybody. Those are taxpayer funds, not to line anybody's pocket. It just hurts me because we have such opportunity as Latinos to move our community forward. We have Raul Ruiz, a perfect example of somebody that carries the torch, helping veterans, helping young people, speaking on behalf of the horrendous leadership in Washington, D.C., and making us proud. And he reaches out to the community constantly. Let him be an example of how we can all act. I want those council members in Coachella to be examples that young people can look up to.
And speaking a little bit more about the impacts to the community, you mentioned the impacts with what the mayor allegedly has been doing. Talk to us about the impacts just now of him not being present during these meetings, some decisions having to be postponed. Talk to us about the implications that has.
The problem is, you're innocent until proven guilty. Your name is Luis. If I started calling you Frank, you wouldn't respond. And if I kept calling you Frank, you might correct me and say, my name is not Frank. So if you're innocent, don't act guilty. Show up, smile, address the fact that I'm really sorry this has happened. It's not going to dissuade me from taking on my responsibility, because I am a public servant elected by the citizens of Coachella, and I have a wonderful group of council members here to move the city forward, and that is my job. And I am innocent until proven guilty. So I am not going to hide. I'm not going to defray my responsibilities, because what's important to me and what's important to all our council members, the people, the young people, the elderly, That's how to handle a situation like that. And if Mr. Carvalho wants to continue and come here and harass me or whatever he thinks he can do, that's his privilege. That's his right to do that. Bring it on, because if that makes us a better city, if that man puts us more on purpose, then we should welcome more of it. As one of the council members said last time, use this as an opportunity to step up and learn more about what's happening in the city, read about it, and step up and speak. That's what we want on council. We want the community to be engaged. We should probably go out to the community more as council members and say, have these corners, politicians in the corner, mayor in the corner, where he goes out to the community and says, let's talk about what you need and want. How can we together work to make the community a better community? That's what I would do. That's my suggestion. I'm not here to just bash the mayor,
Right. Quickly again, talk about the censure that, from what you've heard and what you've learned.
When a person has been accused of a crime, he is innocent until proven guilty. But when he represents a community and a council, the responsibility lies on the remaining council members to take into account what has happened, acknowledge that this is a problem, and make it clear to the community that we're aware of what's happening. And there's a form of punishment and a form of responsibility and accountability that goes with the censure. So I think it's important that it just be stepped up. We're taking it on. We're not going to avoid it. We're going to walk through the problem, the darkness, walk through the troubled lands, walk through the minefield, and help each other avoid those problems. Because Coachella is going to survive, innocent or guilty. We have a process. He would be asked to resign, he would be voted out, and there would be a replacement. And that's how the system works. The mayor pro tem would become the mayor, and so the system goes. So we have built in fail-safes for a community that's going through what Coachella is going through. All this is a crescendo of what has happened for the past 2 decades. The fact that it's happening now is because there's more awareness. And ICE coming into our community has made everybody super aware of the dangers of just being alive, just functioning. When your leaders, who are supposed to protect you, call out a member of city council whose husband was picked up by ICE and then accuses her somehow of being guilty of that situation, well, that's embarrassing and that's uncalled for. How is she supposed to know what happened? Any of us could be pulled over. So that's not a responsible leader that's going to use any way to demonize his fellow council members. I hope that answers your question.
And did you say that the city council was at least looking into possible censure?
Yes. After Steve Nelson spoke, after I did it, public comment, Frank Figueroa mentioned that it was being looked at, and they're going to review it and speak amongst themselves, and I believe in private session and closed session, and discuss what needs to happen next. I think they were quite aware that those of us that know what's going on really need to see that they are going to take on the elephant in the room, which is, let's move this forward. If this is what is the responsible thing to do, let's make sure the community knows that we're not ignoring the situation. That is a normal and legal process. Censuring is bringing to the awareness of the people that we are aware and we're moving it forward.
All right. Alan, thanks so much. I appreciate it. This is great.
Thank you very much.
Recording stopped.
Lots of good insight.
Thanks very much. I appreciate you contacting me. Anytime.
Oh,
you know me, I'm right here.
Now I have your
and
contact.
I prefer to come to you because the last time I did an interview with your folks, I was there in front of City Hall, so it always looks better. I had another job to do, otherwise I would have flown there to meet with you in front of City Hall. It just looks better when you're there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good for the image. But thank you,
Exactly.
Louise. Thank you for doing this.
So
I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.